Born in 1957, Aliko Dangote grew up in an entrepreneurial household in Kano State, Nigeria, a federal state in northern Nigeria. He was raised under full principles of Islamic religion, which includes activities like 5 times a day prayer, fasting, and providing zakat. Dangote lived an upper-class life. Dangote's grandfather was once named one of the wealthiest people living in Kano State. He made his fortune selling commodities like oats and rice. At age 21, Dangote graduated from Egypt's Al-Azhar University, one of Islamic prestigious universities. Having spent much of his childhood with his grandfather, Dangote quickly became interested in the world of business, which he succeeded tremendously. Contrary to most people's belief, Dangote inherited a very small portion of his wealth from his family, and had to work hard for every dollar that he has now. Until now, Aliko Dangote remains the richest man in Africa, a status which he has maintained for the 10th year in a row. Aliko Dangote is also the richest black man on earth. In this video, we are going to look at one of his great interviews, where he explains how he acquired all of his wealth, and how one can be a successful businessman. Please don't forget to like, sharing this video with your friends and family, and to subscribe to our channel if it's your first time here.
Let's talk about how you made this amount of money, which is by far the largest amount of money that any individual has in Africa. So you came from a wealthy family or not a wealthy family?
I came from a wealthy family. My late great-grandfather in the 1940s was actually the richest, West African. My late grandfather was one of the wealthiest Nigerian. The family name is Dentata. That's from my maternal side. My father too, was fairly rich, but he was both, in business and also in politics. But David, one thing that I'm very, very proud of is that I did not inherit any money from my father. I built everything from scratch to where I am.
So your father died when you were relatively young?
Yeah, he died when I was 8 years old.
So he didn't leave in his will a large amount of money for you?
Well, he left in the will, but, whatever that I inherited from him, which means in assets, I gave that one to charity since then.
Okay, so did you go to college in Nigeria?
No, I went in Egypt.
Egypt, all right. And what did you study?
Business.
All right, so you graduated at what age?
I graduated at about 20 years old.
All right, so you went back from Egypt to Nigeria?
Yes, I went back, and then
what did you get a job? What did you do?
I started work with my, uncle, but there's few months, and then I went to Lagos, and now I started my own business by just, buying cement, selling. It was just a very low-key business.
All right, so you're 20, 21 years old, you're buying cement, you're a trader. You're not,
I was trading, yes.
You're not making cement, you're trading it.
I was trading at that time.
Now, cement is your main business. We'll talk about it in a moment, but why is cement such a big part of Africa's, wealth, at least in Nigeria?
The issue is that when you look at cement, cement is what builds infrastructure. And we need a lot of infrastructural deficit. In Nigeria alone, we have about 17,000 deficit of housing. And it is all over in, Africa. So when we started cement in Nigeria, we realized that majority of it was actually imported, and that is why we went in there, we started, and it's a long story.
So you ultimately were trading cement, and then was it hard to get the money to keep that business going?
No, it wasn't really hard. At that time, I was buying domestically. We started importation in 1980, because I started business in 78. So by 1980, we started importing sugar, rice, commodities generally. And then we stopped the cement business, because the cement I was actually doing local trading. It wasn't really import business. We started import of cement in 2000.
Okay, so you had a cement trading business. Somebody thought Lafarge may be buying it. You decided not to sell because they wanted control. And you then decided to build your own cement manufacturing business, is that right?
Yes, I decided in 2003 to build my own cement. That time, Nigeria was only producing about 1.8, 1.9 million tons, but we went ahead and started with 5 million tons of cement capacity.
So what year was that?
This was 2000, and we started the building end of 2003, and we finished in 2007.
And so now you're the largest cement manufacturer in Nigeria?
We are the largest cement manufacturer in sub-Saharan Africa.
Let's suppose somebody's watching this and say, I want to be like Mr. Dangote, I want to be a successful businessman in Africa. What are the attributes, or anywhere, what are the attributes that you think you have brought to the table which make you successful? Is it intelligence, hard work, persistence, all of those things? What would you say are the most important attributes?
I think the most important one, number one, David, if you are going into any business, you must understand the business A to Z. You must know that business. You shouldn't just go and invest because somebody now will say, okay, hey, you know, there's good money in cement, then you go and jump into cement. You have to understand the business in and out, and that's the difference with me. I know my business in and out. You can wake me up any time and ask me about fertilizer, ask me about anything that we are doing. And the other one is really to work very hard, and you have to have the tenacity of continuing to, you know, you have some hiccups here and there, but you have to have be focused in terms of what you are doing.
Now, I've known you for a while, and I never seem to get you to yell or scream, or you seem very low-key. You don't use the technique of yelling and screaming at people, or you're just very low-key and even-keeled. To what do you attribute that, or am I wrong?
I think, no, you're not wrong. That's my nature. I'm very quiet, and I'm very, very calm. I get upset sometimes when people try to be, you know, either to outsmart me or I don't like people who will not tell me the truth. I always like people to look at me through, you know, and tell me the truth.
So are you investing any in the United States?
We are going to start investing, you know, in the United States just after this project. We want to open a family office, both in New York and in London. We already have an office in London which has been operating for the last 30 years. So we want to turn part of that, you know, as a family office so that we can diversify the wealth. As you know, I've discussed this with you before, where, you know, sometimes in Africa you have issues of devaluation, you know, so we want to really preserve some of the family's wealth.
Right. Now, sometimes wealthy people, they collect art, they collect cars, they collect other things, or what, some of your wealth that you're not using for philanthropy, what do you do with it? Do you collect, are you a collector of things, or?
I'm not really a collector of arts, you know. Anytime when I have excess money, I like to put more in terms of charity. I don't really have very expensive lifestyle.
And the great pleasure of your life is just building your company and then giving away extra money?
That's my greatest pleasure in life.